All right, welcome to VP Culture Value Science lesson number 6. All right, so we're going to be dealing with the experiential value of wisdom. And as we've been discussing, we're moving from the creational values, which is the small things that you do every day, to how those small things create experiences for others. And in this class, we're going to be talking about the first one of the second grouping. So we talked about these three here, the calming values of trust, harmony, and peace, and that's the key to creating relationships. Now the excitatory, the energetic values are the ones that you use to create the activity in the workplace, really. You move from wisdom to nobility to joy. So today we're going to be talking about wisdom and how that affects the workplace and how it affects us individually. Wisdom, the primary question here is, do we know how to do life? If you don't know how to do life, you're going to be struggling. So this is the primary question that we have. Wisdom is made up of knowledge, discernment, and impartation. So let's go through each one of those subcategories in greater depth. So first of all, let's delve into the world of knowledge. This seems fairly straightforward, but in the workplace, it's learning skills and insights to value others. Now, getting wisdom just for itself is great, but really our goal should be getting wisdom that helps others, to be able to pass it on to others. So that's what you're using your knowledge for. And otherwise, knowledge can be just used by somebody to sort of, become more important or significant in their own minds. But really, you should be trying to acquire these things so that you can help others. So what is the opposite of creating knowledge, this value of knowledge that others might experience, is deteriorating skills and insights. So as you just sort of go through life and go through the motions, technology moves on, usually your industry moves on, and if you just never improve, you're actually getting worse over time, and that will affect how you serve people. So here's the next subgrouping, discernment. What does discernment mean? Discernment is knowing when to apply which value. So this is a sort of meta skill with wisdom. It's very important that you enter into and know, it's time for us to focus on creating trust. It's time for us to focus on creating joy. There's a time for each one, and sometimes they're mutually exclusive. If you just focus on just creating nobility all the time, you'll probably burn yourself out. That's a great value to create, but too much of it, and you'll burn yourself out. Not enough of another one, and you won't be able to create the other value that you want. So it takes discernment to know when to apply, when to focus on which value in its proper time. The lack of discernment is the over-application or under-application of a value. So you just don't know when to apply it, and you might get fixated on just having peace and harmony with everybody and never get anything done, or you might just fixate on getting things done and never having peace and harmony with people. You have to have a good, wise application, or discernment, as we call it, of the right value at the right time. Impartation, that is teaching and mentoring others, passing on good patterns of values to others. How well do you do this in your life? So this is kind of the fruit of wisdom is to be able to pass this on to others. If you are someone who is wise, you'll know how to discern this, and you'll know that this needs to be flowing to others so that they can use it as well. The opposite of impartation is going to be passing on bad patterns of values and applications, or passing on no values of patterns and applications, neglecting it. So either neglecting it or teaching bad patterns. So that, in a nutshell, is wisdom. There's a lot more to unpack here. But knowledge, discernment, and impartation are what you need to be able to create within your world to be able to create wisdom within your organization and within your teams. So one of the ways that this is done, we've been talking about different dilemmas, like how do we do this in our workplace? So knowledge, are you constantly improving your knowledge and skills? Are you stagnant and not growing? What are the little things that we need to do each week in order to help ourselves grow as an organization or as a team? So discernment, what does it look like to have a balanced approach to values applications? What happens when we get kind of stuck as a team or an organization and spend too much time on one particular type of value? Are there values that we're neglecting? So have discussions around discernment. What are the little things that we need to do in order to help us do this better? What does it feel like to learn? What does it feel like to be a mentor or a teacher? Just talk about what that experience creates for you and for others. What does it feel like when there's no teaching going on and no one's growing and no one's taking the time to help each other out? So what are the small things that you could do as a team to help create these things, go from creational to experiential values with your team? So it's good to take time to wrestle through the dilemmas of how to create these things with your team. All right, so that's how we move from creational values to experiential values, is doing it, discussing it, wrestling through how you can do it better each week.